Well, looking through your catalog, one of the groups that really piqued my interest was the Southern Cousin Mystery Series. Could you explain the concept of that series for us?
Oh, absolutely, Roy. It's a cozy mystery. It stars Elvis, the basset hound who thinks he's Elvis Presley reincarnated. Originally, Elvis was meant to be a ghost because I live in Elvis Presley hometown and he's just a worldwide icon. But that day I was talking and thinking about writing the Southern Cousins Mystery Series. My wonderful chocolate lab Jefferson was underneath my desk. Suddenly he stood up and did his little shake, rattle, and roll dance that means take me outside right this minute. And I said, oh my goodness, Elvis is a dog. So that's how the story and the entire series was born. His owner, Callie Valentine Jones, has a little beauty salon in Morville, Mississippi, which is where you and I are right now, Roy. And her cousin, Lovey, is a caterer in town. Those two cousins are the major sleuths in the book, but the entire Valentine family gets in on the plot. Right now, I have 6 books in that series. The first one, Elvis and the Dearly Departed.
I noticed that most of them have a title that somehow ties into a song title.
Oh, yes, and that's pretty hard to do, as a matter of fact. Elvis and the Dearly Departed does not tie into the song title, but Elvis and the Tropical Double Trouble does. I believe that was one of his movies. Also, let's see, here it is. Elvis and the Blue Christmas Corpse, which I absolutely loved.
Now, you have referred to these before as a cozy mystery. What is a cozy mystery?
A cozy mystery stars an amateur sleuth or sleuths who accidentally stumbled on murder or kidnapping or some crime. The murders are usually funny. Believe me, it takes a lot of work to make a murder funny. But these amateur sleuths bumble around throughout the book having a good time and solving the mystery in the process. So there's no thrillers are blood and guts. They're scary. Everything that you want in a book that would frighten you and make you be afraid to go to bed at night by yourself. That's not what a cozy is. It's just lighthearted fun.
You plan to continue the series, and if so, what's next for Elvis and Callie?
The interesting thing to me about this series is that I not only have a murder mystery or a mystery complete in each novel, but I have characters whose private lives just continue from start to finish and from one book to the next. So readers have been avidly following the relationship between Callie and her almost ex-husband, Jack Jones. They love those two. So the next book you will find from me will dig pretty deeply into what happens to these people. Do they get divorced? Do they finally reunite and get married again? Now I've rambled on so much I forgot the other question. I think it was, will I continue the series? And the answer is yes, of course I will. Readers love that so much. I often think, well, I've said about all I need to say about Elvis the sleuthing dog and all this zany cast of characters, but readers keep saying, what's next, what's next? So you can watch this book in the fall. I don't have a title yet, but you'll find out on my Facebook pages, my Twitter account, and also on my website.
Reviewers have often mentioned how you use humor so well in your stories. And it just made me wonder, do you ever sit there and write a line and then just have a good chuckle?
Oh, I crack myself up, Roy. I think that's really the fun part about writing humor. And the way I'm a seat of the pants writer, so I know the bare bones of the story, but I don't know what's going to happen all between. I just sit down, let my muse whisper in my ear, and type. It's almost as if I'm being dictated to. And sometimes I just laugh out loud. In fact, when I was much younger and just starting this series, and my children were younger, my son would walk through peer into my office, he'd have friends, and I'd hear them say, "Trey, your mother's in there alone and she's just laughing her head off." And he would say, "Oh, that's okay, she's just a writer."
Which of your characters are reader favorites? And what was your inspiration for Lovey, Mama, and Fayreen?
I would say that Elvis, the Basset Hound, is definitely a reader favorite. I've had many, many emails from those people. I think he became a favorite in that book because I actually gave him a voice. He's one of the narrators, which is pretty unusual for a book of any kind. Now, Fayreen is my Mrs. Malaprop. I have always gotten a kick out of people who say, "Oh my goodness, I'm so tired, I feel as if I've just fallen into Bolivia." Of course, fallen into oblivion. But I love those Malaprops, so I made Fayreen my Mrs. Malaprop. I think she's an every woman based on all these maiden aunts of mine, the grandmothers, the characters I met through the years growing up in a small community. All of those lumped together form Fayreen, who loves green and always wears green because it's the color of money. Now, Mama, Ruby Nell Valentine, has to have been inspired by my own mother, who has been deceased for many years. But Mama was such a feisty, fiery, independent woman. She was a character. In fact, my own mother, Marie Westmoreland Hussey, is the only person I've ever met that I could translate from real life straight onto the page.
I'm just curious, since your narrator is a dog named Elvis,
Yes.
have you picked up many Elvis fans as fans of this series?
I'm certain, yes, I have. That's a short answer. I have picked up a lot of Elvis fans because they search the books looking for the little stories that Elvis tells about his life as a world famous singer. Some of those stories you won't find in books about Elvis Presley or any of the biographies. Some are quite personal. For instance, my brother-in-law's mother, Miss Grace Reed, employed Elvis' mother, Gladys, as a housekeeper when both my brother-in-law and Elvis were babies. So Gladys would come to work with Elvis on her hip. She would say to Mrs. Reed, "Can I put Elvis in the crib with Arthur Roy?" So he hates it when I say my brother-in-law slept with Elvis. It's true in a way. And of course, Elvis also, Rob and Doll Smith, Elvis' maternal grandparents, were sharecroppers on the Hussey farm.